General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, is answering questions bothering on why he discontinued the case against the current governor of the central bank and also some other matters arising on the Right to Information Act. Take a listen. We'll rectify that connection to Parliament shortly here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. But still on that, stay with Parliament just a little further, because the minority in Parliament have criticized government for failing to meet the demands of the striking nurses and midwives. Addressing the press in Parliament earlier today, ranking member of the Parliament's Health Committee, Nanayo Efriye, said government must change its posture towards nurses and midwives in the country. The minority further accused the government of acting in bad faith as regards the collective bargaining agreement reached between the government and the striking nurses in 2024. Let's take a listen to the minority addressing the press earlier today on this issue that is taking a toll on health delivery in the country.
To court, and they settled it in court on the 25th of January 2025, not 2024. You understand? So the natural process actually ended in 2025. No fault of anybody. And this cannot be politicized. Absolutely. It was supposed to be effective 1st July 2024. And before it took effect, it was already injuncted. The process was not. It is, I'm not the Minister of Finance. I will not speak for the Minister of Finance. He's not even bent. The Ministry of Finance have not even met them to let us know what the books looks like. So you can't speak for that. I can't speak for them. Now I can only stand by the nurses, and we can only appeal to them. But the responsibility of government has not been honored here, so I don't have any proposal. So government must meet them. I'm not government. I don't have books. I don't have money. I don't have anything. But I stand by the rights of them. I've seen the CBA. So I can't speak for government. It's for government to let us know its position. And the only way the government can do so is to meet them. But that's what we have done. We are saying that taking it to court is not the way. You are being assertive. When two people are assertive, there's conflict. So when one is assertive, one bend a little bit, accommodate, and there's a compromise. So that's what we are saying. What we are saying is that let's get this very straight. You don't go and say minority appeals to nurses. We haven't. What we are saying that if government shows good faith to them, that come and sit down, please, may they go to sit by being merciful. In that case, they know some people respect them, and we are saying that, yeah, we support you, but please, when you go, be reasonable. So don't go and say we are appealing, as if we just came here and we just said, we are not appealing, actually. We are saying that government should change their posturing, but when they meet them, please, nurses, be merciful. As far as the nurses are concerned, the Ministry of Finance, there's nothing like that.
So that's the ranking on the Health Committee of Parliament, and you were free there, giving details of the minority position on this particular strike that is taking a toll on health delivery in the country. The government, you recall, yesterday appealed to the public-spirited retired nurses and midwives to volunteer their services for a brief period, pending the resolution of the ongoing industrial action by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Now, Kwabena Takando, her health minister, said while working around the clock to resolve the impasse, the ministry had taken the steps to mitigate the suffering of Ghanaian patients unduly affected by the strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. And we're monitoring the impact across the country. But this is what the health minister has been saying.
The federal government commits to continue to engage with the nurses in order to achieve a mutually acceptable outcome in the interest of the public. While working around the clock to resolve the impasse, the Ministry of Health has taken the following steps to mitigate the suffering of Ghanaian patients unduly affected by the strike. The ministry will, in the next few minutes, publish a comprehensive list of facilities to complement facilities where nursing services are lacking and where patients can seek health care. Given the urgency of the situation and suffering of the patients, government appeals to public-spirited retired nurses and midwives to volunteer their services for a brief period pending the resolution of the impasse. We further express our deep appreciation to practicing nurses who have opted to remain at post to help suffering patients and urge others to show similar fellow feeling and assist our ailing compatriots, even as efforts are made to address their concerns.
That's the Health Minister, Kwabena Mintah Akando, on there. We're monitoring the situation at some of the hospitals or the health facilities across the country. But let's engage a bit further on this. Austin Gama is a labor expert, is going to be joining us shortly. And then also we have Dr. Asante Krobiam, is a former president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Is joining us on the telephone right now. Dr. Asante Krobiam, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Doc. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, my brother.
And I thank you for agreeing to talk to us. Now, this is the appeal by the health minister that the registered nurses, the nurses and midwives who are on retirement, at least in their interim, should come and offer their services to address this dire situation we're faced with because of the strike by the registered nurses and midwives. I mean, is it a good call, at least, while the engagement continues from where you sit? Because the minority in parliament also think that this move, government is rather showing bad faith because it doesn't send a signal of commitment to address the concerns of the nurses urgently.
Yeah, my brother, thank you very much. First of all, well, I think you said it rightly that I'm the former president of the association, so my views may not be completely in tune and in concord with what the National Council of the Association have taken. But from where I sit, I'm going to pass on my views about the situation now. Yes, I will actually agree with anybody who thinks that the decision that the Minister of Health has taken to bring on board retired nurses is not a good one, and it's not in good faith with the plight of the nurses and midwives who are on strike. And my point is that, first of all, I do not think that the Minister of Health knows exactly where and who the retired nurses are, and these retired nurses, most of them who are within the ages of 70 and 80, will not be able to hold the fort while the strike action of the nurses and midwives linger. So this is going to be an exercise in futility, because even if he finds them, they will not. I do not think that they will respond to the call of the Minister of Health. But the point is that if this is even actually what the decision that he has taken, what is he bringing on the table to appeal to the striking nurses and midwives that is actually serious about solving the problem that is on hand? I believe that the crisis we have, is the nature of it, it's not a thing that you have to toy with, because it's past 1 week since the nurses and midwives withdrew their services, or some of the services, and at this point in time, there should be a pragmatic solution in the hands of the minister to bring on board. And if it now appears that he doesn't have any yet, and I'm telling you, my brother, that this action about bringing retired nurses and midwives to hold the fort will not hold. It will not be successful, because, first of all, he doesn't know them, and most of them are already tired and disillusioned about even their own economic, the plight in which they are in, about the economic, socio-economic situation. If you want to talk about retired nurses and midwives, I know them very well. The club members are just a few, and they aren't going to be able to deal with the matter. It means that even if he's going to find them at all, they are going to be sent to the operating theaters to assist the surgeons to work. Is he saying that they will be able to do that? In my view, they won't. Is he saying that they are going to send them to the intensive care unit to be able to operate the cardiac monitors and to be able to deal with the patients on admission who are in critical health conditions, life-threatening conditions, and he's saying that the retired nurses and midwives are going to be able to care for these patients. The retired nurses and midwives aren't going to be able either to take care of stroke patients in the ward. So I don't know what he's talking about, my brother.
I see.
To come again, work with the nurses and offer pragmatic solutions to these striking nurses and midwives. If he actually wants to help save lives in this critical moment under the circumstances.
Dr. Kobe, I find it pretty interesting. You say with emphasis, emphatically, that you don't think the retired nurses and midwives will respond to the appeal by the minister for them to come and hold the fort while this negotiation goes on. I mean, there's not going to be any consideration for fellow feeling. And you say, why is that? Because they side with these concerns?
Well, I stated that rightly so.
I see.
Given the fact that, one, he's not going to find them.
He's not going to find them
at all. He's not going to find. If he's going to be able to find them at all, he's not going to find them in their numbers that you'll be able to organize to hold the fort. And areas, in fact, in strike actions of this nature, we are very much concerned about the patients in the intensive care unit, patients whose conditions are operable. In other words, they are surgical patient candidates, which who are going to the theaters for surgical operations. And I'm saying that they don't even, most of them, as far as I'm concerned,
right,
do not even have the skill to take care of critical care nurses. To take the place of critical care nurses, to take the place of theater nurses. Over the period before I retired myself, I trained the critical care nurses and perioperative nurses, and I know that those who are on retirement now, just a few of them are in that category. So as for outpatient department, patients in the OPD, perhaps they'll be able to soak the pressure, but not in critical care areas, because you know that even doctors will stop admitting patients. And if you have information about that, if you don't have information about it, I'm telling you, doctors have stopped admitting patients whose conditions will require that they undergo surgical operations, but except those who are there already and are being taken care of. And I'm saying that the retired nurses and midwives aren't going to be able to absorb the pressure. And,
I see. Dr. Kobe, I wanted to honor a bit for me, because I have Austin Game is a labor expert. I know you know him. You have engaged his services a number of times, and he's been following this quite closely. Mr. Game, I appreciate your time. Now, the health minister today appealed to retired nurses and midwives to come in, hold the fort while they engage with the striking nurses because of the dire situation we find ourselves in as a result of the strike. You've been listening to Dr. Krobia, who is the former president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, who says he can say for sure that the retired nurses and midwives are not going to heed to this appeal by the minister because of the number of reasons he's giving. That one, they really support the call and the reasons why their current members are on strike. So that's going to be a stab in the back if they actually come to even hold the fort. And secondly, the minister cannot find them at the moment. How do you react to this?
Well, I have my opinion. I will not react. To be honest with you, I think that it's it should be of great concern to my friend Dr. Kombia, particularly because he knows that health workers, especially nurses who are on strike now, many people, I have information because I'm following the strike. I have information of people losing their lives already, and many others are really going through harsh periods, harsh time. I think it's only fair that the minister made this call. For us, I support the nurses having the best of conditions. The employer must be in a position to pay. Negotiation and implementation period of negotiation are all part and parcel of negotiation. And therefore, if the employer is unable to cough the amount of money, they can only engage the nurses. They have no choice. They can only engage the nurses. And if the nurses are not responding positively, an alternative will have to be found temporarily whilst they go into a long-term arrangement. I think the nurses will have to change their mind. They will have to back down. I'm aware that Dr. Kombia and his colleagues are also teachers at the various educational institutions of the nursing fraternity, and so all of them are involved. But it's a difficult task, and the minister has no choice. He has to do what is appropriate. It's a desperate period, and we must ensure that the rest of the 30-something million people do not become victims of this circumstance.
Now, so what should give, or what must give for this compromise to be achieved? Because as you indicated, it is indeed the case. We have monitored some cases of death as a result, not directly as a result of this strike, but then again, it's because these people are unable to get health care as we speak. So what must give for this compromise to be reached?
Every nation has laws and has rules that govern the procedure of how to activate the laws. And in Ghana, we have put together our labor law. We have our rules that govern the procedure of the negotiation. In the unlikely event of a situation like this, both parties, either of them, first of all, or both parties can agree to go to the Labor Commission, and the Labor Commission will have to determine the way forward. They have invited them. They have failed to go to the meeting. Labor Commission gave a forward march for all the parties. They failed to respond. They went to court. They've come out with an interlocutory injunction upon them. They are refusing to obey it. So I understood there's a claim that they have not been sent. Having heard and having said themselves that they said the court has imposed an injunction on them, except that they have not been served, they have not made themselves available to be served, is not the issue. Right. They are my people. We should return to work immediately, and we must continue to engage them until the matter is resolved. But to stay away and people are dying, I think it's not fair. The rest of the 30-something million people should not become victims of circumstances because of condition of service. I think it's important they get a good condition of service, but I don't support this ongoing strike.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Game. Dr. Kobi Asante, so that's the position, obviously, of Austin Game. Yes, the conditions of service are there, but then again, appeal is to you, well, your colleagues, to consider the impact this is having on patients who are at these healthcare facilities so as to call off the strike. And I put that same question to you. What must give for this compromise to be reached? Because it appears that the Ghana residents and midwives are very clear on their demand. They say that they are ready for a conversation, but not a negotiation, because the terms have already been signed off.
Right. The labor expert has spoken, and his position is very candid. But you and I know that the striking nurses and midwives are not going to back off, because we see that the minister has taken an entrenched position. He is not going to offer anything reassuring on the table. And that is why it is also difficult for the nurses to also come out with take a decision to ask the nurses to come back to work. But I'm saying that it is very disturbing that up to this time we haven't seen the Minister of Health offering a pragmatic solution to the problem, except to say that come back for negotiation. In fact, that is actually an insult, and the labor expert can tell you it is an insult to tell the nurses that come back for negotiation. It is an insult to have somebody reason that the nurses do not have do not have a case.
Right.
That has led to this decision.
Great.
So coming back to my point.
No, run up in a minute for me, please.
All right. So, well, I myself have been engaging the leadership of the association to take certain steps to ask the minister to drop his high hand and condescend. But it is my appeal to the minister also that what is important now is for the two parties to agree on a necessary and a problem-solving roadmap for the nurses to return to work. But
right.
Obviously, what he has decided to do is not the solution.
Thank you.
The minister is going to be able to offer about 80%, which I'm sure he'll be able to do,
right.
80% of what the nurses are demanding now.
Okay.
I think it will deal with the matter.
Dr. Santi-Kobia, appreciate your time on this. Thank you. Thank you so much for your thoughts. And he is the former president of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Now, we need to cross over to Parliament now. Chrisabel?
Yes, let's cross over live to Parliament, where the nurses and midwives strike is taking center stage and is being discussed now.
Motion moved and seconded. The question is, as many as are in favor of adjournment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The House is adjourned to tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 June 2025 at 2 p.m.
A statement has been forwarded to you. Mr. Speaker, I would again and again plead that since the member intends to invoke Order 93 to bring this to the attention of this House, I humbly plead with you that, Mr. Speaker, let's oblige him. Mr. Speaker, I agree that we must go by our rules, but we've had some rare occasions where we as masters of our own rules have looked at ways of accommodating certain urgent matters for the purposes of democracy. Mr. Speaker, I am pleading with you.
Honorable Minority Leader, you know I'm not a difficult person, but nothing will let me set a bad precedent. Bad precedent in the sense that a member will bring a statement for admission, and there and then the member wants to read the statement. 2, if the member is unable to read the statement, then the member now turn around to say that though I have brought a statement for you to admit, because you didn't admit the statement, Let me read a statement under Order 93.1 and 67. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded.
So if you're watching us right now on Facebook at 3FM927, just for the benefit of those of you listening to us right now on the radio, what's happening in Parliament now is that the Speaker, the first Deputy Speaker who is presiding over the business of the House, Bernard Ahiafo, has just adjourned Parliament despite the disagreement over the statement of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Now, a member of the minority sought to make a statement on the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association strike, but the Speaker indicated that that particular statement had just been admitted and as a result cannot be read. And so he did not want to set the precedence that would not be continued. The minority is not happy about the decision by the Speaker to adjourn, despite the notification by one of their members to make a statement on the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association during the proceedings. You just heard the Speaker adjourn the proceedings in Parliament. And if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM927, we're showing you videos of the misunderstanding that ensued between some minority MPs and the majority members of Parliament when the Speaker adjourned sitting to tomorrow. They are not too happy about it. And Ayuwa Free, Honorable Ayuwa Free, who is the ranking on the Health Committee of Parliament, together, you can see, if you go on our Facebook page right now, 3FM927, together with some of the members of Parliament, are hooting at the Marshal of Parliament just a few minutes ago. Let's take a listen to that. So there's a live coverage of what is happening in Parliament right now on 3FM 92.7. If we go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, we're following proceedings every step of the way. The House has been adjourned to tomorrow, despite the minority's position that this statement on the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association strike should have been admitted and read upon the direction of the Speaker. Well, the Speaker disagreed and indicated that the statement was just submitted to him just a few minutes before the decision to adjourn. And so he does not want to set a precedence that cannot be continued. And so he would have to admit the statement and tomorrow it be read. The minority is not too happy about that decision. But let's go to Parliament live right now again. The Honourable Sebastian Sandari is a member of Parliament for Dafiama Bosie Isa constituency. He is the deputy ranking on the health, is the deputy chair of the Health Committee of Parliament. The deputy chair of the Health Committee of Parliament joining us right now. Honourable Sebastian Sandari, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me.
Now, we're seeing what is playing out in Parliament right now, and the minority sought to make a statement on this strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, The Speaker of Parliament indicated that that statement was not admitted on the order paper or the business for today. He just received the statement, but the minority insisted that he should consider, because this is an urgent matter, so that the statement will be made. The Speaker has adjourned business for the day to tomorrow. Could anything else have been done based on the circumstances at play right now?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Speaker is right in not allowing the statement to be read today. I mean, normally, I believe it happened because the right procedures were not followed. Such a statement needed to be, normally you even give it to the leadership. They go through, they agree, then it's admitted by the Speaker, so that it's not a surprise kind of statement that would come. So I believe the right procedure was not followed, and that is why the Speaker has declined to allow the member to read the statement, just to ensure that we follow the right procedure. If not, tomorrow somebody or another member can also follow the wrong precedence, and that will create problems for the House. But whatever it is, I believe the statement probably will be read tomorrow or as soon as the Speaker would allow.
I see, but earlier today, the minority addressed a press conference. A number of things they put out. And I wanted to take a listen to the Honorable Ayu Afure, your colleague on the Health Committee. He's a ranking on the Health Committee, which you are the deputy chairperson. He indicated that you, talking about government, you're acting in bad faith. And here's the reason why he makes that point. I want to take a listen to him. I'll seek your response specifically to what you think of that position.
To court, and they settled it in court on the 25th of January 2025, not 2024. You understand? So the natural process actually ended in 2025. No fault of anybody, and this cannot be politicized. Absolutely. It was supposed to be effective 1st July 2024, and before it took effect, it was already injuncted. The process was not. It is. I'm not the Minister of Finance. I will not speak for the Minister of Finance. He's not even bent. The Ministry of Finance have not even met them to let us know what the books looks like. So you can't speak for that. I can't speak for them. Now I can only stand by the nurses, and we can only appeal to them. But the responsibility of government has not been honored here, so I don't have any proposal. So government must meet them. I'm not government, I don't have books, I don't have money, I don't have anything, but I stand by the rights of them. I've seen the CBA. So I can't speak for government. It's for government to let us know its position. And the only way the government can do so is to meet them. But that's what we have done. We are saying that taking it to court is not the way. You are being assertive. When two people are assertive, there's conflict. So when one is assertive, one bend a little bit, accommodate, and there's a compromise. So that's what we are saying. What we are saying is that let's get this very straight. You don't go and say minority appeals to nurses. We haven't. What we are saying is that if government shows good faith to them, that come and sit down, please, may they go to sit by being merciful. In that case, they know some people respect them, and we are saying that, yeah, we support you, but please, when you go, be reasonable. So don't go and say we are appealing, as if we just came here and we just said, we are not appealing, actually. We are saying that government should change their posture, but when they meet them, please, nurses, be merciful. As far as the nurses are concerned, the Ministry of Finance, there's nothing like that.
Well, so Honorable Sandari, that's a position that the minority says you have taken, which is a show of bad faith, and that you should do well to meet the nurses at some point to appeal to them to return to work, and not say that you would implement this collective agreement in 2026 because it was not budgeted for?
Yeah, thank you. Let me say that I still maintain the position I expressed yesterday, that the issue at hand cannot be solved by press conferences because we are dealing with a situation where lives are being lost. Patients are suffering. And therefore, all stakeholders must speak positively and giving assurances to the nurses and midwives, appealing to them to go back to the health facilities as soon as possible. Earlier on, the Minister for Health also addressed the media and assured Ghanaians that they will engage with the nurses and midwives. That is the position we are all calling for, that whatever the situation is, government, nurses and midwives, and all the forces that be must put the patient at the center of the discussion and come to a common point. I wouldn't want to be responding to the position of the ranking member because even before their press conference, we had met as a health committee, and they were there. Their members were there. We're also there. Our position was that we should also come in as a committee to see how we meet stakeholders to appeal to the nurses and midwives, and also see how we talk to government to solve this problem as soon as possible. So that is the position we took as a committee. In fact, the minority said that they were going to address the press, and therefore we needed to hold on for them to express themselves before we engage with the stakeholders. So I'm not surprised with what the ranking has said. I mean, it's just a talk to the public because they are a minority and, they have to talk. But trust me, within them, in their hearts, the position is that we should all take up and do whatever that is possible to address the situation. Because patient first. I mean, whatever it is, none of the sides.
But that's where the concern is. That's what the concern is. Patients first.
Yes.
Even if you want to look at the minorities' concerns or the position as politics. But how about this as well? The registered nurses and midwives, they've made their position clear that they don't intend to renegotiate. They can have a conversation because this collective agreement has already been signed. You hear that re-echoed by the minority. So it goes beyond what the minority is saying. So really, what has to be done to address this matter as urgently as possible? Honorable.
Yes. See, we also have feedback from the ground, from the nurses and midwives, from government side, and whatever. You see, the nurses and midwives, some of them feel that whether government or minority, the talk out there is not helping the situation. All they need is that appreciation. I mean, that kind of humble talk. They want to engage. And the Minister for Health assured that engagement. For me, that is the joy that I have, that the engagement, the negotiation has not exhausted. I mean, we all know that you can take a position today, you sleep and you reflect, and by tomorrow morning, you have a different view and a way to act. That's why I keep on saying that. I mean, the negotiation has not exhausted. There's still room for that engagement and that negotiation.
Okay. Well,
but when, this one is talking, and sometimes the nurses themselves listen, and it's like they also want to show that as a body, they have the rights to behave the way it is. But that right is also causing more morbidities and mortalities. So whatever it is, I say that the engagement must continue and lead to the desired results, which is that the nurses and midwives would come back to the health facility. So I also appeal to them. I'm not just saying by expressing their right, patients should suffer, die. No, we all appeal to the nurses and midwives to reflect and put the patient first.
Right.
But as they do that, then, government also take the position of engagement, and all stakeholders, should come on board, appeal to them, and see what can be done and what cannot be done. I think that is the position the Minister for Health also expressed.
Right.
So, I mean, government is willing to solve the problem, and I hope that the nurses and midwives, would also be willing to be engaged so that this problem is solved.
Well, we'll see how the commanders will look on this. The urgency of it is important, really, in the scheme of things. But I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Sebastian Sandare is the Deputy Chairperson of the Health Committee of Parliament, joining us there. But let's move away just a bit from this.